U.S. President Donald Trump inked an executive order imposing tariffs on all steel and aluminum imports. Only Canada and Mexico are exempt for now. For more on how this affects Korea, we turn to our Lee Jeong-yeon.
The die is cast. The U.S. tariffs on steel and aluminum that prompted talk of a trade war became official Thursday afternoon. President Trump signed off on the tariffs, but with temporary exemptions for Canada and Mexico, since negotiations on NAFTA are still underway. Not exempt from the tariffs, though, is America's longtime ally, South Korea. The tariff measures are expected to deal a heavy blow to South Korea's steel industry, as it's the third biggest exporter of steel to the U.S. On top of that, experts foresee fiercer competition, as now South Korea will have to compete against other steel exporters trying to find a market outside of the U.S.
China is a strong player, in steel production and exports. So we have to make a better steels. We have to high quality, steels compared to China. In terms of quality, getting over Japan or Germany, I think that is the fundamental task in Korean industry.
The expert added that the bigger concern is what could come later.
The steel industry itself is fairly, less significant compared to the entire size of Korean economy. But the trouble is, United States is trying to reduce the trade deficit in all other, spectrum of commodities, not just confined to steels.
This means restrictions could eventually be put on other products like semiconductors and electronics. Signing the executive order at the White House, Trump elaborated on the need for the tariff, emphasizing the millions of Americans who lost their jobs due to, quote, unfair trade practices. He also said it's a matter of defending America's national security. And speaking of national security, according to the Blue House, South Korea's national security advisor, Lee Jeong-yeon, who's now in Washington to debrief President Trump on his visit to North Korea, urged the U.S. Secretary of Defense James Mattis and U.S. National Security Advisor H.R. McMaster to exempt South Korea from the 25% tariff on steel. According to the Blue House, both Mattis and McMaster said they would review the matter favorably. With 15 days to go until the tariffs take effect, eyes are now on how South Korea will respond to minimize the tariff's impact on its economy. Lee Jeong-yeon, Arirang News.